The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. Welcome. It's great to have you with us today. I'm Lydia Jones, the VP of Go-to-Market at Klipboard, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to today's partner webinar with Open ECX. We've been working with Open ECX for a little while now, but we're excited to announce their new gold partnership with us, combining greater knowledge, resources, and intertwining our products and teams, aiming to bring the best P2P and O2C operations for you. And today we're focusing our webinar theme on driving efficiency through seamless automation. So a few quick notes before we start. This session is being recorded and you will receive a copy of the recording after the session, so you'll be available to watch this on demand. Please do note that any data shown on slides or in the demo today are test data as well. And finally, if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A box at any time. We'll address as many as possible at the end of the session. Please don't be shy. But if we do run out of time, we'll ensure we get back to you directly after the session with the answers. Through the next hour, you'll be hearing from, firstly, Matthew Jones. Matthew is the co-founder of Open ECX and has been in the industry for over 20 years, passionate about streamlining B2B operations. He'll be sharing key insights on the products, as well as some of what our joint customers have had to say as they've started using the solutions. Matthew's also joined by Liam Roberts, implementation lead at Open ECX, focused on delivering successful deployments with his deep technical knowledge and passion for delivering a great customer experience. He will take you through a live demo so you can see the solutions in action and how they help solve the challenges that face us as B2B businesses. And as I said, at the end, we'll wrap up with a Q&A and a poll question. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Matthew, who will kick us off.
Many thanks for that warm introduction. And from Liam and I, big thanks to everyone who's participating in today's webinar, and a big thanks to the Klipboard team for putting on the webinar today. Today's agenda is about delivering seamless automation and the benefits that drives through automation into the Klipboard finance system. The agenda today is designed to give you an insight into how we achieve that automation. We're going to begin with a brief overview of the business, our history, our community, some of the solutions that we provide. Then we're going to walk you through some of our joint customers, bring to life what they get and receive from the benefits they receive from using our systems. Liam is the brains of the operation today. He's going to show you a demonstration of our portfolio of solutions. And finally, we're going to end with a question and answer section. I do urge you, as Lydia urged you earlier, to raise any questions that you might have. We do enjoy answering them, and we will endeavour to answer all of them. So, without further ado, OpenECX is a business. What drives us? Well, we started OpenECX 12 years ago, after working in the EDI OCR world for many years. Our ambition was very, very simple. We wanted to bring the benefits of purchase to pay, order to cash, or as you might know it, sales order processing, electronic invoicing, to every business, irrespective of size and technical capability. For too long, we've seen complex EDI projects try to be delivered without actually hitting the mark in terms of business benefit. ECX began with a simple aim to make that accessible to every business and take out some of those frustrating barriers to entry that have prevented other businesses from achieving true automation. Very simply, we wanted to make it easy for everyone. Where we're at today is that we have over 12,000 B2B, business-to-business connections in our construction supply chain community. That's been engineered by delivering electronic invoicing, electronic ordering to both contractors and house builders, builders merchants, manufacturers in the construction supply chain. We've gone on to deliver similar communities into the pharmaceutical, food and beverage, and agricultural community, but our main focus has been on the construction supply chain. And in doing so, we have developed best-of-breed solutions that really do bring the benefit of true automation to many thousands of businesses. OpenECX is developed into an award-winning, multi-award-winning business with 4 key products. The products that we're well known for in the Klipboard community are electronic invoicing, sales order processing, state reconciliation, but you might also know us if you're connected to the NMBS community through the One Place system. Our marketplace is the NMBS One Place system. So just to explain that a little bit further, in respect to electronic invoicing, electronic ordering, imagine a world where the vast majority of your customer orders or supplier invoices are fully automated without any manual requirement into your finance system or your Klipboard system. No need for manual entry, no need for dealing with complex data issues, allowing you to grow your business, scale your business without the need to increase headcount. These solutions provide immediate ROI. I know a lot of IT providers state that, maybe in their marketing, but imagine 90–95% of your invoices or orders flowing into your Klipboard system. Our statement reconciliation system goes a little bit further in the world of finance by helping you to deal with the reconciliation of your statements with the supplier invoices, providing you with an ability to deal with audit, fraud, and while protecting your working capital, and also putting you in the enviable position of being able to pay your suppliers on time, so you're keeping your supplier relationships intact. As I mentioned, Marketplace is best recognised as the One Place system that NMBS operates, allowing NMBS members to raise orders, view catalogues, and raise orders on the likes of Bosch and Velos. If we just to bring that to life a little bit more, let's explore the technology in a little bit more detail before Liam takes us into the demonstration. If one of your customers sends you an order, or a supplier sends you an invoice, OpenECX receives that document into our platform. We automatically extract the file, extract the data within the file, and then we apply our secret sauce, which is our business rules engine. Will then annotate that data, maybe apply a series of business rules to that data so that we're getting true accuracy on the data. Those business rules can be as complex as comparing an invoice to a goods received not on a purchase order. Maybe you want to stop invoices from receiving invoices that don't have a PO number. Maybe one of your customers on their orders knows your products as a 123, but you actually don't understand what a 123 is. That 123 in your world is an AB7. Well, we can convert and enrich all of that data as we process that transaction through our system. Finally, we then reconstitute that file and process back into the Klipboard system in SFTP or API in a seamless fashion. So from end to end, that is automatic. We're not batching the files. We're not leaving it to the end of the day. As soon as we've received that invoice or received that order, that file will be delivered into your finance system. We promote the concept of accuracy, and because we capture all of the data in the file, we're looking at 100% accuracy in a matter of seconds. That transaction is going to be within your system. When it comes to statement reconciliation, that goes a little bit further than electronic invoice, and that brings further benefit to your finance team by automatically matching your supplier statement with the invoices that they've sent across. The innovative dashboard that the statement reconciliation system is built upon allows you to identify problem invoices or problem statements, allows you to investigate those, manage historic queries, and in summary, allows you to get to a position where you can pay your suppliers on time every time, keeping those important supplier relationships intact. As I said at the beginning of the webinar, over the 12 years that we've been focused on the construction supply chain, we have supported a great number of maybe your peers, your suppliers, your customers, maybe even your competitors as they begin the move to true automation. And that has obviously brought us into the world of Klipboard. And the Klipboard relationship began because the customers could see the value of both systems. And we now have a great number of Klipboard users using our platform. They get the benefit of electronic invoicing or sales order processing. And then once the transaction arrives in Klipboard, the bells and whistles of Klipboard then can kick in to bring the real benefit through automation. The community that we've grown within the Klipboard community has led to our status as a gold partner. As we said at the top of the presentation, we're very, very appreciative of that. If you speak to the customers, what we're trying to engineer with all of our customers is a position where we are a trusted partner. They believe in our support, they believe in our team. And through that, a lot of them have got to the position where they're more than happy to provide case studies, reference points, even vocalize the benefits that ECX brings by attending reference calls or participating in some of our user events. If I was to bring a few of those to life, I suppose everyone's familiar with SIG. Sheffield-based SIG is a £2.7 billion turnover business. They process in excess of 10,000 invoices per month from about 750 suppliers. Well, SIG over the years have been involved in quite a number of different initiatives around automation. They've used traditional EDI, but we found it never actually delivered the business benefits as they were sold. I think you can see from the quote there, what we've actually manufactured is a position where SIG are receiving the benefits that they originally bought into. They've been blown away with the speed, the accuracy, and by speed, I don't mean in terms of the transaction being processed into their system so they can process their payments quicker, but also the speed of rollout, the speed of interaction with the supply chain. We do that through a managed onboarding service. and ultimately the speed of achieving the ROI benefit of the original business. If we look at a far smaller, but still as important business, eTookling, a smaller organisation, but they process around 1,000 invoices and 1,000 orders per month. And their problem really was they were looking for a partner that wasn't going to swamp their smaller IT team, but also a partner that wasn't going to affect the relationship between Tooklings and their customers and eTookling and its suppliers. So they were looking for someone who had no material effect on those relationships. And the way that OpenECX delivers the project is whilst the customer receives the document, ultimately they pay for the service, we don't charge the sender. We also don't ask the sender to change the systems or processes or the documents they send today. So invariably, the supplier or the customer that's involved in the project will have no awareness that they're participating in either an electronic order process or an electronic invoicing process. And that's a crucial USP with respect to ECX. We've completely removed the barriers to entry, and some of those barriers are there's no cost to the sender, and there's no material change in business process or system for the sender. They're ultimately some of the most successful projects ECX has delivered is when the sender isn't actually aware they're participating in an automation project. Turning to NMBS. NMBS, those that are not aware of NMBS, is a buying community in the UK, 1,300 member builders merchants buying from around 300 manufacturers, multi-billion pound spend. And then they ultimately come to partner with ECX on a great number of projects. They use us for one place, they use us for e-orders, they use us for electronic invoicing. In one of our recent meetings last year, they articulated that they were having frustrations with statement reconciliation. That was affecting their ability to process payments. That was affecting their standing with the merchants and manufacturers who they have to coordinate spend to. And what they were looking for was a partner that could fix that problem, come up with a solution. They were already using a solution, but it just couldn't deal with the volume of transactions, and it was frustrating the finance team within NBS. Well, NBS, along with a great number of early adopters, decided to participate in our early adopter program and helped design out, develop, and ultimately go live with the statement reconciliation tool. And are now finding, as the quote says, that they are seeing a significant reduction in payment processing times, which enhances supplier relationships and ultimately enhances the work-life balance of the finance team at NBS. So a great advocate for everything ECX does, but particularly with statement reconciliation. So that's just an overview of some of the logos and some of the names, some of the trusted partners that we have in the Klipboard community. But there are a great number of other ones. We encourage you to look at our website. I think that a lot of case studies on our website. We even look forward to engaging with you maybe in a sales process where you can be introduced to one of these customers and actually speak to them directly. Ultimately, this has all been around driving efficiency through seamless automation. And one of the things I would like to get across as we talk about these case studies is this is not a difficult project. This is not technically you have to have thousands of people in your IT team. We're not shutting your business down for a couple of years. This is not a significant IT project. This is delivered very efficiently, very quickly. Our team have experience of obviously the Klipboard systems, but also experience of how the supply chain work, how your finance processes will work. We can make recommendations on how to go about the delivery of the project, how to engage with the suppliers. We'll do that for you. But also things like which business rules should you adopt within the process so that you can get the maximum benefit out of automation. The other thing to be aware of, and I'm not just doing this because Klipboard helps us put the meeting in place, but Klipboard is a very, very capable system. And from our perspective, when it comes to integrating into the Klipboard systems, whether that's Inspire or ERP1, we find that actually a lot of the key features of those those systems can be turned on now because of when they receive an electronic invoice. So it's a very easy, it's an easy system to connect into, which makes it even more easy for when you're the next customer that comes on board. Liam is now going to take over the presentation because I think it is important just to demonstrate to you some of the functionality in more detail. So, Liam, would you kindly take over and begin with the e-invoicing electronic ordering system?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Matthew. So just to echo what Matthew's been talking through the presentation, there's a lot of source and sizzle in terms of what we do in terms of the different solutions, e-invoicing, e-ordering and the statement of reconciliation piece as well. And what I'm about to step through is the front-end portal that sits on top of those solutions and really brings it all together. Starting off with our analytics dashboard, which is basically your oversight and your team's view, whether that be admin team members, whether that be senior stakeholders, whether that be day-to-day users of the platform. It gives them that real oversight of what documents are coming through the system. It gives you a value of those documents, and it gives you basically a hit rate of what's being queried within the suspensions area of the portal. But I'll come on to that in more detail later. So you can see an example in front of us. In a given time period, we've got just north of 4,000 transactions that have been received, and value and that suspensions percentage adjacent to that. And at the very top of the screen, we're giving you a pillar by pillar breakdown. So different areas within the solution, but pillar by pillar breakdown of what status documents are in. Completed is great, and you can see the vast majority are, because it means we've captured data, we've extracted the embedded metadata within the document, we've validated with business rules, and we've moved that document onto export into one of the Klipboard ERPs. You can see we've got some documents in suspensions and some in matching and approvals as well. So there are different modules, different pillars within the platform that allow you to validate in different ways, starting off with suspensions and, if required, matching all the way through to three-way line level matching and approvals as well. But we deliver those modules in a way that best complements the existing functionality in the Klipboard solution. Just scrolling down for those pillars, you do get a widget breakdown for example, suspensions, how long documents have been in there, the value of those, and the sender analysis as well. So real calls to action for, again, either admin users, stakeholders, day-to-day users. An interactive transactions process per day graph and a highest senders breakdown, either by volume or value, whatever you select, whatever's important to you. And you can read out these again based on what's important for you to review within the portal. Scrolling down slightly, we also show user assignment. So if users have documents assigned to them, it might be just that call to give them a polite kick up the backside to say you've got 20 documents waiting for you to action. And we also give you trend analysis day by day and by days and hour to give you that oversight of when the system is busy processing documents on your behalf. Moving into the transaction screen with some Klipboard facing data, if I make this slightly bigger. This is the transaction screen. This is where you can report on transactions flowing through the system, whether it be an invoice, an order, a credit note, or a supplementary document. We'll show it here in this grid and give you a red, amber, green status. And again, exported is brilliant because we've extracted data, we've validated it, we've exported it, ready for the Klipboard ERP to collect. Suspended is your query documents, so it's documents that need review because business rules call, actually this document has missing data or it's invalid data or there's a scenario you would like to hold within the platform. And we have some ready for deleted documents as well, maybe documents aren't destined for automation. With full filtering capability on the left-hand side and access to the source document as part of the screen as well. These views are customizable as well, just to personalize for the end user. But just moving on to some of the query management within the portal as well. If I click into one of these transactions, you can see here, fully interactive suspension portal, list of suspended documents with some key data, access to the source transaction, again, on the right-hand side. And we're just showing you these calls to actions, these validation messages, in this case, future data transaction, something that you might want to hold and review. I know in the other example we've got here, we're looking at order number format, so we're highlighting that it's an invalid purchase order number. And we're showing you the data that we've captured at header level, address level, and line level, and any custom fields as well. just to give your team a chance to have an informed decision on the document. They've also got full reassignment, emailing, and revalidation capability within the portal to move this document on. Data can be corrected here, or it can be kicked back to the sender, it can be forwarded on internally. And this is all driven again by business rules, what you ask us to apply in line with the stuff that we already know from existing Klipboard integrations, and we can build and build on this. So if you have certain scenarios where data is coming in correctly from a sender consistently, we can turn on automated email rejections, just as an example.
I think it's just to interject that. What we're showing you here is software that allows you to deal with a transaction. This is not to be confused with what happens in Klipboard. Klipboard is ultimately the #1 system that deals with the processing of the invoice down into ledgers and ultimately the payment of the invoice. What we're trying to do here is furnish you with a solution that allows you to interact with problem invoices or problem orders, understand why they're being rejected, and triage those in the process so that every invoice going forward is fully automated into the Klipboard system. So ultimately, where we all want to end up is that every transaction automatically flows into Klipboard, but this software allows you to report on or identify any particular supplier that might be providing you with an error transaction.
The idea is, as Matthew says, delivering as clean a message into Klipboard as possible. Then just moving on into the statement reconciliation side of things, you can see here we've got some more data. And within here, you've got a dashboard that Matthew talked about earlier. So I'm going to request this data in that date range. And in this dashboard, you can see in a chosen period how many statements have been received in the solution, how many are fully reconciled and closed off within the solution, and how many are not yet reconciled and need review. You have a supplier last reconciliation widget, which will give you some information by sender, in this case the tests. You also have a priority sender breakdown, and similar to the other dashboard, a user assignment breakdown. So you can see in this case, Jessica has 2 statements to reconcile. Within the actual statement list itself, if I click into this, this is what you're met with as the end user. In most cases, we're defaulted to show you the unreconciled statements first, the ones that are ready to be reviewed, but all the reconciled or disregarded statements can be filtered back in. From here, I can click into a statement and you're met with this screen, just giving you a bit more detail at the top around the statement that's been received, when it's been received and who sent it, and then some calculations around the overall balance or the value of the statement, the value or the balance of the related ledger items, so the invoices, the credit notes, the other documents, those values that we're receiving from the Klipboard system, and then any calls to action here in terms of value difference. So in this case, we've got one unreconciled item because we've matched on document number, but you can see here we've not matched that document on value. There's a difference of £50. These calculations are driven by the calculations in the top right, which we determine and are dictated to us by the ledger data that gets sent to us on a regular basis as part of the project. Then scrolling down, you can see our list of statement items compared to documents from the ledger. You can see for the most part, the system's done a heavy lifting, it's matched these documents, and as I say, for the most part, a lot of them have matched on value, either exactly or within a tolerance we can apply on your behalf. But you've got a couple of documents here that basically have calls to action. You've got a not matched document. We think actually this document's not yet been received on the ledger, so maybe the supplier needs to send it. Or in this case here, it's matched, but it's with a different total. You can quickly drill down to these items using maybe the unreconciled items quick filter, or the items for supplier quick filter, and basically drill down to the documents that you want to see. You're also met with the ability to select records on that page and export as an Excel document this data to be sent on by the supplier, either at the stage that you need to query something with them, or you need to hold something internally, basically have a file to hand that shows those items, shows the status they're in with the values that you can pass on. You can take individual document actions on documents as well. So you can see here within the audit, different changes have been made to the file itself. You can see the date and time used that made the change. And they might be actions such as changing the document status. Maybe it's in query now. You can accept value differences, manually adjust values. And for the documents that can't be found or can't be linked automatically, you can even create manual links to other documents with different document numbers on the ledger. What you can also do is raise either in bulk or individually queries with the supplier using preset templates that are agreed during the project. You can send to whoever you need to, but most likely in this case the supplier, copy yourself in if required, and adjust this subject and email body. You can attach the export that I mentioned before, the Excel file. You can attach the original statement or any custom files you'll choose. If an email trail is started in here, it is actually held within the statement reconciliation module, so you can track that back and forth as part of the audit. But the idea being here, bar the odd exception that you need to go query the supplier, get the statement to a happy place, a place where you can reconcile it, then click the reconcile statement option at the top and give it a reason. Again, just to reiterate, every action is tracked to show which user took the action, what it was, when that took place, for the sake of audit compliance. I think that just about wraps up what I wanted to cover in terms of the demonstration itself. So I'll put that to you.
And as we said with electronic invoicing and electronic order and the demonstration of the portal, statement reconciliation isn't designed to interfere with what you might do in your main financial system. It's there just to enhance the process and bring to life that problematic process of reconciling statements, and ultimately we put you in a better position in respect to fraud or overpayment or protecting supply chain relationships. We've gone through that presentation there and just shown you a snippet. We've also talked about our customers and how they're using our various solutions to integrate to their finance systems. What I would encourage now is possibly if you could raise any questions via the panel, we would endeavour to answer those. Sometimes it's the questions and answers that really drive home the value and the benefit that OpenECX brings. We've also, just as a quick aside, we've raised a poll question for you guys to answer as well. So we'll visit that poll question in a second as well. So have we got any questions with you that myself and Lee can answer?
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Liam. Yes, we've got a couple. So first question is, obviously we've gone through a number of our shared customers. Would being a Klipboard customer speed up that integration process when working with you guys?
Yeah, and again, without being patronising to the Klipboard team, I think one of the real benefits of where the partnership got to was the partnership really came about because we had a great number of Klipboard customers outside of the formal relationship. I think we got up to 15 customers before we started talking about partnership. And one of the reasons we got into a position where there's so many customers is Klipboard, as we knew it in the old days, KA, Inspire. Very, very easy system for us to navigate, very easy system to integrate an electronic invoice and electronic orders to. The more Klipboard customers we got in our community, the more that they were vocal and they encouraged other customers to come on board. So in terms of a seamless integration, compared to other finance systems, we do, I think Liam and his team find a particular happiness when it's a Klipboard customer compared to, say, another, I won't mention anyone, but another ERP vendor. So we've learned a lot of lessons around how easy it is, what the business rules could be applied, how the workflow and approvals work within Klipboard. So from our point of view, it's a very seamless and easy integration into Klipboard, and one that I was going to make mention to in terms of the customer base. You know, our typical start point is between 6 and 10 weeks for an implementation, and that's not us saying it's 6 to 10 weeks. That's usually us giving our customers a bit of bandwidth to get ready for the project. But we do have customers who go live in 3, 4, 5 weeks, and from our perspective, it's usually the Klipboard customers who are pushing us to go faster and quicker because it's such an easy system to connect to.
Yeah, and I think in addition to that, it's, again, just to reiterate, it's tried and tested. As soon as we see a new Klipboard project come through the door, we've got most of the information we need already. Our team can spring to action because we know the data standard we're sending, we know the connection that we need to apply to get the two systems to talk to each other. So it's really useful leveraging this tried and tested method, whether it be ERP1, ERP Go, Inspire, those sorts of products that are out there. So we can come fully onto a project with that detail and suggestions of business rules and variations to be applied.
Yeah, it's key on those business rules. We're not trying to overcomplicate this project. We're not asking you to do homework and go around and sit down for 6 months worried about how best to configure our system. Our team will come to you and make some suggestions based on all of those collective Klipboard examples. Lydia, is another question?
Thank you, guys. Yeah, there is. So the next question is, what percentage of the supply chain do you typically onboard?
Well, from a headline point of view, ultimately we can onboard all of the suppliers. When we first started the business, we were well known for dealing with a structured PDF. That was our sort of mantra at the time. But in truth, we can deal with any structured and now unstructured data that your supply chain or your customer base might send in the form of an order or an invoice. So in practical terms, there is no limit on the number or the percentages of invoices that you receive. Obviously, we're going to go after the largest volume because that's the largest suppliers, the largest customers in terms of volume, because that's where you're going to get your business benefit. And that's, some customers are content to get 60, 70, 80% of their invoices through or orders through. Some customers are very, very keen to maximize every transaction. So technically, there's no reason why all of your suppliers or all of your customers can't present you with an electronic transaction. But the realities of life is that sometimes customers are more than delighted by a certain percentage. Our team is always encouraging the customers to get maximum value out of the service, but we'll leave that to you to decide. Lynn, you've got some real world examples, haven't you? You deal with this all the time. There are customers who are endeavouring to get every transaction through.
They are, and even in sort of Klipboard world, we're in project with a few customers of ours, a few partner customers currently, where there's a real depth of supplier onboarding on the invoicing side to be done, customer onboarding on the ordering side. One customer that we're working with at the minute has 5,000 onboards that we need to do, and we can do that very quickly. Some are smaller supply chain businesses, so they only have 50 for us to onboard, and that will be foreseeable. So, like Matthew said, it's about that. It's about where the drive is in terms of business benefit, how many suppliers, customers being onboarded is going to get us to this percentage of automation, and then really work from there.
And if I could just encourage anyone who's listening to feel comfortable about your size of organisation. This is not, I know we emphasise the SIGs and the Woolses of the world, but practically this is for any business, any size. And if you're using a Klipboard system, irrespective of the volume of transactions that you're receiving, the number of suppliers or customers you want to integrate, because it's such an easy system to connect into, you can be a very, very relatively small, modest organisation to get the benefits. So we encourage you to think of this irrespective of the size of your organisation. This is not a giant IT project where you've got to have thousands of people on standby. Some of our customers are very, very modest organisations that really want to strive for the benefits of true automation. They've made their investment in Klipboard. They've got a tier 1 system. They want to make the best use of that system, so they move to accounts payable automation or sales order processing as the next step. So this is not a sale or a conversation for the largest organisations. This truly is for every Klipboard customer.
Thank you, guys. We've got another question, which is around just how do the invoices and statements appear in the system?
Good question. I'll take this one. So there are a couple of different ways. Well, there are a few ways, but the primary method is email. So kind of mirroring your process today, whether you've got some automation, whether you've got no automation, a lot of documents are going to be received over email, or that's where sort of your path is leading to. So just like, and I'll use the invoicing side as an example, you might have an AP or a purchase ledger mailbox that you receive supplier emails to containing attachments. We work in a very, very similar way, and our onboarding kicks in to help with that as well. So as part of the project, we have our onboarding process, and we go usually down one of two routes. Either you just auto forward the email traffic that you want automating, so we do that in a controlled way, but the suppliers, the customers, the senders that you want automating also forward those to us. We receive them, we process them, you retain the original copy. For other projects, you can make use of our onboarding managed service team in a bit more detail, use their bandwidth a bit more, and we can actually go and engage on your behalf to ask senders to direct their email traffic to a new dedicated email address to create some separation if that's your preferred route as well. So the primary method is email. How we get those emails is a couple of ways, but we do have other mechanisms, CP and other technical solutions to receive those files as well.
And I think it's important, Liam has been with the business since more or less day one, and as I said, back to that original ambition, we wanted to make it easy as possible for your suppliers or your customers to engage. I came from the world of EDI, for those that are at a certain age, and like myself, and that was typically very complex. You're asking the supply chain to conform, and there was a mandatory requirement. We've got rid of all of that. Email is the easiest way to deliver the transaction. Any structured file is how we consume it. We then apply best of breed technology to get the maximum efficiency out of every transaction for true automation. So without overselling that, what it actually boils down to, all of your suppliers, all of your customers can participate in this project. It doesn't cost them anything. You don't have to change any business process. You don't have to invest in their tech. They can very simply continue with the process that probably already got to you with you today. One of the sort of key sales actions in any sales presentation is to ask the prospect how many emails are you receiving today that have an invoice or an order. Usually the hands go up, and that's where usually we start the project.
Thank you both. We've got another question around the impact of suppliers, like what formats do you support? So you've touched on a couple, but it might just be good to go back through that.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I'll give this sort of high level view. In terms of let's pick on the invoice, pick on the supplier. We're not mandating to the suppliers any particular format. We're not asking them to conform to an EDI format or an XML format, for those that are familiar with that terminology. So actually, practically, the suppliers will send us a machine-generated PDF on an email, and that's it. That's all they need to do. Dedicate the email address, whether that's your email address or a hybrid email address, as Liam says, between our two organisations. The suppliers might be doing that already, or they might need a little bit of encouragement through our onboarding managed service, which we provide to you. And by the way, that's not a heavy phone call. We're not putting any pressure on the suppliers. We might just politely speak to them about, can you send your email to this email address? That's the sum total of it usually. So from a supply point of view, they're sending a PDF, and typically that's a structured PDF. We then open that up to any format of structured document. So if they're sending you a CSV file, if they are doing EDI or XML, they can send those transactions as well. But very practically, the PDF tends to be the starting point, and that can be applied to orders as well. We want the benefit of structured data, but actually we also deliver and accept unstructured data as well. So if your suppliers are sending you scanned images, we can capture that information as well. But our starting point is, can Mr. and Mrs. Supplier send us a PDF on an email address? And that's as simple as it needs to be. That's a testament to your experience, Liam?
100%, yeah. Starting point is PDF, and then we can get into the more technical files as we go, but all are welcome.
Thank you, guys. That's our questions. I will just give it a few seconds just if anyone has a final question they'd like to put in the Q&A. Otherwise, we'll move on to our poll. And I'm hoping you've all got a poll. It'd be great to just get some feedback from you all on the session, and what kind of follow-up would be really helpful after today. So I'll let you just all have a second to answer that. And I think we'll move into a close. So as we close the session, please watch out for the on-demand recording. And if you'd like to know more, please reach out to your account manager or let us know via the form, and we'll give you guys a call back. I'd really love to say thank you so much to Matthew and Liam today for presenting and taking us through all of the really fantastic stuff that you guys have been doing and we've been doing together. Thank you all for joining us. We hope you have a good rest of the day and take care.
Many thanks for your help.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate your time.
Take care.